I have Henry Stone here, getting ready to do an interview for English TV. Simon Hodge is the producer. It's the Craig Charles Funk Show.
Connection. Do what you want to do. Now, I think when anyone mentions Henry Stone, they will think immediately of TK Records and the disco boom of the 1970s. But in fact, Henry's career goes much, much further back than that. Hopefully, on the other end of the line, we're going to talk to him. Henry, are you there?
Here I am.
How you doing,
In
man?
beautiful sunny Miami, thinking about you people in the UK.
It's a pleasure to talk to you, sir. I said your career goes way back beyond the 70s. I mean, how did you get into the blues back in the
Well,
40s?
This is my 60th anniversary in the music business.
Is it really?
60 years, yeah. I started 1948, and in 1950, of course, one of the first artists I recorded was Ray Charles in 1950.
How did that come about?
Well, I've heard of Ray Charles when he was going to the School of the Blind in St. Augustine. I heard this great, they said there was a great young singer up there, and he came to Miami to do a gig. You know, actually it was just at that time, just Ray Charles, a musician. But I heard him, and I met him one night, and we went, he said he would like to do cut some sides because he needed some money, how unusual. And I brought him into my little funky studio, and I cut 4 sides with him. And the thing is, when he first started to sing, he started to sing like Nat King Cole.
Yeah.
And I said, Ray, I'd rather have you do some blues with a good feeling I know you've got, you know?
Yeah,
And
that's
that's,
Rooney.
and that's when we came up with St. Pete, Florida Blues, and a few of those other blues things, those 4 sides that I cut.
Thinking about it, was there not a legal dispute about the ownership of those records?
Well, yeah, the estate challenged me, of course,
Yeah.
because it was so long ago, but I had the proper papers and the proper whatever I had, and it went away.
I don't have to tell you, Henry, where did the hit with the rip, mate, isn't it?
Yep, that's the way it goes.
Also, one of the big acts that came out in the 60s Miami was Sam and Dave. I mean, what was it about them that attracted you in those early days?
Well, they had a very, very soulful sound, you know, very soul. Of course, I was basically always into soul music right from the beginning. And they attracted me, and they were working at a club. And actually, I brought Jerry Wexler in to see him one night from Atlantic Records.
Yeah.
And he was really excited with them, and I put some sides out with them. And then Jerry asked me if he could sign them and put them on Stax Records. I said,
Yeah,
sure.
but to Stax Records. What,
Yeah.
did you why not sign them to one of your own labels?
Well, I did originally, but I didn't have the mass distribution at that time. See, I was a big distributor in Florida, and I didn't have the distribution like Atlantic had or Stax, you know.
Yeah, you're a small fish in a big pond.
Yeah, at that time. That's one of the reasons my early records are so collectible, because they weren't distributed worldwide like I did in the 70s, because after the 70s, forget it, you know?
Yeah, some of your early records go for an awful lot of money, Henry.
Yes.
I hope you kept copies yourself.
No, I didn't.
I
I didn't. I never kept a...
scheme. That's your pension scheme.
No, but I didn't do that. I was always making the next record, make the next record. That's when I went to the next record.
It sounds incredible, but you also knew James Brown at the beginning of his career.
Well, I was instrumental in finding James Brown in 1955.
Yeah.
I was sent there by King Records, said Nathan to pick him up, and the gentleman by the Ralph Bass, the other A&R man for Federal Records, he got there a couple hours before I did and sent the master up to King. And he and I got 50-50 credit for finding James, but I stayed with James at the time.
And you recorded Please, 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 James Brown's first ever recording.
That's right.
You're a legend, aren't you? I mean, even then, was it true to say that James Brown was quite a perfectionist?
He was. He had that star power right from the beginning. Right from the very beginning when I first met him, and I stayed with him through all these years until he passed away. I was like his godfather.
So you kept up the relationship?
Oh yes, he wouldn't make a major decision without me. He wouldn't put a record out without me listening to it. It was just one of those underground things that we had going. And I mean, the people in the industry knew about it, but I guess the public didn't really find out about it until later on. You know, when history is made, it's made, you know?
And it came full circle, didn't it, when you recorded it in the 80s with Rat Payback?
Yep, yes, that's right. On the Brown, then I started my Brownstone label with James in the 80s.
Amazing. Listen, we've got a lot more to talk about. Don't you go away. I'm going to play James Brown. Please, please, please. Please stay on the line, Henry.
I'll be right here.
Please, please, please. Please, 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 please. I love you so. The Godfather of soul. Please, please, please. Now talking to the Godfather's Godfather. This is the Craig Charles Funk and Soul Show, and we're on the phone with Henry Stone. Henry, we were just arguing, me and Simon Hodge, we're just arguing here. The James Brown track, Please, 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 was that recorded as James Brown solely, or was that the Famous Flames?
No, that was with the Famous Flames.
I was right, Hodge, you owe me
Yeah,
five.
that was with James Brown and the Famous Flame with Bobby Bird.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably most famous for TK Records. I mean, was Timmy Thomas the first release for TK?
Pretty much. Well, I had a few before. You know, I had Funky Nassau, beginning of the end. Before that.
From the beginning of the end?
Yes.
So before that?
Funky Nassau and Clean Up Woman with Betty Wright before that.
Oh, wow. So, in fact, in no way was the first release then the Timmy Thomas release.
Well, actually, Timmy Thomas was the first TK record before Casey. Which is why can't...
You're quite stunning, all the people that you had signed up around this time. You had Betty Wright, Jimmy Buckmore, Little Beaver, the beginning of the end, T-Connection, Casey and the Sunshine Band, the McRae's. I mean, a lot of people said that you had a great ear for talent and a great ear for a hit. What was your secret?
Well, you just said it. I had a great ear for a hit.
Simple as that.
You just said it.
Around this time, you had about 27 different labels from TK, Alston, Glades, Cat. I mean, the list really does go on and on. Why so many labels?
Well, real fast, like, it's just that I had to confuse the radio people here. If I put everything out on one label, TK, they couldn't play all my records. But they could play a TK, a Drive, a Dash, an Alston, etc., you know? Which they did. I had 23 gold and platinum records worldwide. Every record was #1 all over the world.
That's brilliant.
With T-Connection, Peter Brown, Clean Up Woman, Casey. Well, Casey had 7 of them, you know?
Yeah.
No, actually, Casey broke in England there. He broke in the UK.
That's the way I like it.
You know? Oh, that was before then. Before he had a record in the UK. The Queen of Clubs.
Queen of Clubs.
That broke in the UK before Get Down Tonight.
Yeah. How would you define the Miami sound that developed at this time?
Well, again, I had a lot to do